All right, so now it's very interesting. Just as I was talking about Jerry Buss and his background, they had a very, very good documentary feature on the Lakers versus Celtics rivalry in the 80s. And they happened to actually speak on the closeness of Magic Johnson and Jerry Buss. And during that time period, particularly in the early 80s, for those of you who don't know, Jerry Buss owned the Lakers, and Magic Johnson, of course, was a star player for the Lakers. Jerry Buss, like I stated, was an MK Ultra handler. When I say MK Ultra handler, meaning he had the keys to the beta program sex kittens that were all across Los Angeles. And he opened Magic Johnson's eyes to that world. And Magic is going to, he's going to allude to it a little bit, and this segment is going to allude to it a little bit as it goes on. So let's see what they talk about here.
You got any requests, just call in.
As for Magic Johnson, it was the first time since that night in 1979 when he beat Larry that he wasn't a champion. And if you looked closely, you could see a 21-year-old kid from Michigan living in LA trying to figure things out.
I was having some problems with my teammates at that time, having a close relationship with Dr. Buss. Dr. Buss understood that I was coming from Lansing, Michigan, didn't know anybody in LA, and he became like a father figure to me.
Yeah, he took you under his wing and he showed you about that world that you knew nothing about, that world that a lot of people don't know anything about. That world of, as they call it, lasciviousness, when you can have anything that you want at your fingertips. Why is that? Because in the world of the quote unquote occult, that's what they offer you. All right, Magic Johnson, and for a lot of the brothers who go a little bit too far, who I call tinfoil hats and love to talk about the Masons. Yes, Magic Johnson is a Mason. So now Jerry Buss is definitely, or was definitely, on the inside of that world. I say was because he passed on. His daughter also is a MK Ultra sex kitten. You know, I can't remember her name offhand. Oh, Jeannie Buss. She is a sex kitten. All right. So that's why she was linked up with Phil Jackson, who's also a MK Ultra handler. That's why Phil was brought into the Bulls to help direct Jordan, who I'm going to do a video about it, was most likely, in my view, an MK Ultra asset as well. All right, a quote unquote monarch child, but we'll cover that later. But Phil Jackson definitely has the keys. He had the keys to Jeannie Buss, and he had a great understanding on how to control Jordan, being an MK Ultra handler. But we'll cover Phil Jackson, and like I said, we'll cover him and Michael when we get there. But Dr. Jerry also was a MK Ultra handler, and he passed the keys for his daughter to Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson was, Jeannie Buss was one of the kickers for Phil Jackson to come to LA, right? Jerry threw in his daughter. Now his daughter went on to quote unquote act like she broke up with Phil. Most likely Phil just got tired of her and sent her on her way. All right, because I believe that he had the keys, that he had her keys, and that to me is why Phil just talks crazy like that too. Phil, you know, he just says whatever is on his mind because he understands how the world really works. When I say the world, I'm talking about that entertainment world, and he knows, you know, that he's not going to be moved, not unless he wants to be moved, because he's pretty high up on that programmer chain. All right. But back to the topic, Jerry Buss introduced Magic to that world of having whatever woman you want, being introduced to sex kittens. He took him to the Playboy Mansion. And he also introduced him to Mr. Donald Sterling. And that's why I believe that Magic fell into the pansexuality, running around with Jerry Buss. When I say pansexuality, I don't just mean having sex with a bunch of women. I mean women, men, all other type of things. Allegedly. All right. So let's see what they say.
He wanted to make sure I was comfortable, showed me around the town, take me out to dinner, we'd go to lunch, we'd go out, you know, just hang out all night.
Now notice, Magic Johnson saying he took me out to dinner and to lunch, like they went and got a Subway sandwich or something. But you see how the feature flashes to Magic being in a room with a bunch of mirrors and girls with Jerry Buss. And if you look at all these girls, they all look pretty young. The girl on Magic's left arm looks like an Asian girl, maybe 19, 20 years old. Jerry Buss was known for favoring young girls. All right, 15, 16 years old. That was his preference, allegedly. All right, but in that world, anything goes. Now, Magic didn't seem to mention certain things. Like I said, he tried to make it look like it was a platonic friendship. Jerry was just showing him around being a quote-unquote father figure. Now, when people use that term father figure, that could mean anything. That could mean somebody helping you understand life. That could be somebody showing you the keys to the game. And the game could be anything. The game could be the game could be that freak life. The game could be that drug life. It could be anything. Anybody could be a father figure, right? Quote unquote.
What confused players and what bothered players about the Magic Johnson-Jerry Buss relationship was they would go out socially. They would date girls together.
Now listen to that. What the hell you doing? You 22-year-old so-called black man. You out there. You running around with a 55-year-old Caucasian man dating girls together. Unless Jerry Buss is showing you things that you've never seen before. He's giving you access that you've never had before. All right? I wonder what the hell it was like out there on a double date with Jerry Buss. But you really can't call it a double date because both of them probably had about 3-4 girls each. Because all them girls was under mind control anyway.
So the guys said it's an unwritten rule that you can't hang with the owner. And I said, well, I don't care. I'm hanging with Dr. Buss.
The guys was hating because Magic was getting access that they were not getting. Dr. Buss took Magic under his wing. Why is that? Who knows? Could it be he was drawn to Magic's personality? Could it be that he knew something about Magic that we don't know? Could it be that he knew something about Magic that the other players didn't know? Who knows? It might take more investigation. Could Magic be a monarch child? Could he be under the programming? Who knows? Could it be that he was just a higher level Mason? Could it be that he was in the know on certain things? We know right now that Magic is in that world and that he was a programmer, or that he is a programmer. Pardon me. His son is under mind control. EJ, the one who has sexual identity disorder. How do I know that? Because you see EJ oftentimes wearing the animal print. You often see him wearing the red shoes for Oz programming. You see him wearing the animal print. All right. These are all things that you know and understand when you study these topics. All right. So, yes, Magic is a programmer. That's how I know that Dr. Buss introduced him into that world. Once again, when I make statements, I don't make it based on vain numerological illusions. All right. As I've stated, numerology is an important component in understanding certain things. But once again, brothers, it's not just about understanding what they're doing. It's about knowing what you should be doing. All right. All those numbers games is not what's going to help us in these last days. But that's neither here nor there. Let's get back to the topic. Let's see what Magic talking about with his shiny head having ass.
And so they kind of got mad at me when I said that.
The team was a mess, but Dr. Buss wasn't gonna let that ruin his fun.
Look at Dr. Buss. You can tell he one of them dudes. He on the phone with a freak, and somebody walk into the office and he act like he making a business call. He like, yeah, girl, I'm gonna tear that ass. Oh yeah, have that memo on my desk first thing in the morning. As soon as somebody walk in, and please, all this dude's thinking about is an orgy. You can look at him and see that shit. And like I mentioned, Dr. Buss, one of his cohorts was Hugh Hefner. Hugh Hefner, and I'll do a video on him later on. Hugh Hefner was a CIA or is a CIA asset. Hugh Hefner is the one who, if I remember correctly, put on Dick Gregory. All right, he helped sponsor Dick Gregory, if I remember correctly. He also was the programmer for Marilyn Monroe. All right, who was the first diamond level programmed sex kitten. I mentioned this before. That's why she had that song, Diamonds Are Girl's Best Friend. All right. That was a mnemonic device for her altars. And that also, like I said, you'll notice about these sex kittens, they get passed around throughout Hollywood. Hollyweird. All right. They're used for different purposes. Sometimes they're used to extort celebrities. Sometimes they're used to get information. Sometimes they're used just for entertainment. Sometimes they're used to hide the real sexual orientation of certain celebrities, right? That's why you tend to see a lot of these guys hooking up with the same, like people be like, damn, how come Amber Rose is always around some famous dude? Why is that? Because she's a paid asset, and they know about it. She's a paid asset to hide the real sexual orientation of a lot of these so-called celebrities and a lot of these so-called top-level athletes in the entertainment business. All right, these guys are all pansexuals when they get to the higher levels. When they get to the highest levels, all those guys are going not even both ways, every way. All right.
In the summer of '81, the owner gave Magic a tasty new contract. 25 years, $25 million.
It hasn't hit me. I don't think 25 million really can hit you at first.
When somebody signs you to a 25-year, $25 million contract, basically what they're saying is that I'm going to keep you paid for life. I love you that much. I'm going to keep you paid for life. So, we'll probably never know the full extent of their relationship. Jerry Buss, in my view, most likely introduced him to that pansexual lifestyle. And there's really only one way to introduce somebody to a pansexual lifestyle, if you know what I'm saying. But, Magic Johnson, there's layers to this dude, man. There's layers and layers and layers to this guy and his history and where he's coming from and where they had him designed to go. All right. Like, a lot of people, I made the Isaiah Thomas video and a lot of people were saying that, him and Magic were, Isaiah Thomas and Magic were kissing and they sacrificed their sons. I don't know. I'm a firm believer that for a lot of these guys that you see now have homosexual or lesbian children, a lot of these players from the 80s, you never know what could have happened. CIA could have been running some type of experiment on them that they did not know about. These are professional athletes. They get injected with all type of needles, syringes in the preseason, right? By team doctors. They get fed water and beverages like Gatorade and things like that. You could put anything into their beverages just to test an experiment. Wow, what would happen with these players' children if we put this in their food, in their water, in their Gatorade, in the syringes that they're taking preseason? They did it with Tuskegee. They could have had an NBA experiment that we don't know about. I mean, it's crazy. Isaiah Thomas has 2 gay sons. Magic Johnson has a flagrantly homosexual son. Michael Jordan supposedly has a gay son and a lesbian daughter. Right? It could be that these guys sold their children into that world. I'm not saying that it's not true, but it could also be that they were just victims of some type of CIA experimentation that nobody know about. All right, that they didn't even know about. Who the hell knows, man?
Nobody had ever heard of that, and that was kind of like absurd at the time, and we were like shocked.
Shocked, code word for hating. All right, y'all was hating.
Money is not an important thing to me,
Yeah, money is not never important once you have it.
Enjoying life itself is the most important thing. And I enjoy it when I'm with Dr. Buss, and that's the key to it.
Look at how he's smiling when he said, I enjoy it with Dr. Buss. And that's the key. He's just phenomenal. Yeah, of course you enjoy it with Dr. Buss. You're getting 8 broads at a time in a damn jacuzzi. 8 broads that come in there on that Eddie Murphy Coming to America type shit. Whatever food you like. Right? Of course you're enjoying it. Hop like a dog. A big dog.
The question became, is he part of ownership or management, or is he a player?
We want to be around each other. Seems like things happen when we are.
Look at that. Seems like things happen when we were around each other. We want to be around each other. Can you imagine a 22-year-old young so-called black male saying that about a 60-year-old Caucasian male? Can you guys possibly have had that much in common? Obviously, like I've stated, Dr. Buss was introducing him to, and if you watch the earlier part of this feature, Ice Cube said, well, we don't really know why they call him doctor, because I mean he had an honorary doctorate. Who knows? He could have been called doctor because of certain knowledge that he had that you don't know about, right? Dealing with mind control. Because there's no doubt in my mind that he was a mind control handler. All right. Like I said, his daughter Jeannie is a beta program sex kitten. Right now, I believe she's dating what's this guy named Jay Moore, the comedian. All right. So these people, they get passed around, and I mentioned this in a previous video. Magic Johnson will get eventual ownership of the team. All right. He's just weaseling his way in. He knows that she don't really want to run the team. That bro wants to, what she wants to do is, have about 5 or 6 different guys bang her out at once in some orgy. She's a sex kitten, man. Allegedly. All right. Allegedly. But that's what the bro wants. Magic wants to run that team. He wants to buy that team. He's just weaseling his way in. That's why the brothers tried to put a stop to it, Jim Buss and the other one, because they know that eventually Magic is going to get the team and they're going to get shorted. All right?
From all outward appearances, the fact that he'd been hurt and we lost to a sub-500 team, it didn't make sense.
Yeah, you see that? He said, Jamal Wilkes said it didn't make sense that Magic's getting all this money after they had lost the previous season to the Rockets in the playoffs, and that they were not doing that great the next season. But there's reasons why people get empowered and you don't know why. And Magic was a great player, even from the first time in the league, but Dr. Buss knew something about him that nobody else knew, right? Like I said, whatever that is, we may never know for sure. Magic could be under the programming himself, and Dr. Buss knew about it. A lot of these assets that come through high school into college, a lot of the top owners, coaches, they know about them. They know who they are. All right? There's a reason why Jordan went through North Carolina with Dean Smith and so on and so forth. All right? But anyway, we may touch on some of these things a little later. All right? Peace.